Well, hello. Welcome back to another season of NYCFC Pregame Live. That's a preseason game today. New York City's playing the Portland Timbers, and that's going to be live streamed. I'm going to be on the co-commentary with a guy named Jake Levy. So at 4 p.m. Eastern, go to nycfc.com/live or go on YouTube. You'd search it. I do have a guest here. I'll get to him in a minute. The last time New York City played Portland last year, it was a 1-1 draw at Providence Park, which was the first match that they had played since MLS Cup 2021, which New York City won their first MLS Cup. It's going to be the home opener this year for New York City. They're hosting Portland on March the 9th. This is interesting. Portland has never lost at Yankee Stadium, 3-0 with 3 clean sheets. So that's something to look forward to, as well as this game today. So here he is. I would imagine you recognize him if you follow the game a little bit. This is Tom Bogert from The Athletic. Fabrizio Romano. That's the only guy we ever heard about, as far as breaking stories, pretty much. And then this dude came on the scene. But the best part, the redeeming quality at the highest level that Tom has is he's from New Jersey. Tom, welcome.
The Asbury Park guy. I know that I look like an LA guy with the shades on. This has got to be this Hollywood Tom here on Coachella Tom. That's why I got to keep the shades on and make myself look like an a-hole like usual. So it's perfect.
Asbury Park Football Club doesn't exist, but it's a wonderful imaginary team. They've got all the merch. I've got that same shirt. I didn't wear it today, but and Asbury Park, the home of Springsteen. So tell us before we get going. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself. You are from Jersey.
Yeah.
Where were you raised? Where did you live growing up? All that kind of stuff.
Down at Jersey Shore, born and raised in Wall, and stayed in the area to go to college at Kane University near Newark. So Jersey boy through and through. And now I'm back down the shore. I live on the beach, like on Ocean, down in Bradley Beach, right next to Asbury. So very lucky. The commute when I have to go to New York City and stuff. Yankee Stadium is pretty tough from there, but look, man, I'll do the bad commute to live on the beach any day.
Yeah, City Field's a little bit better from there. Actually, my wife and I are leasing an apartment on the beach in Long Branch. We're kind of neighbors.
That's going to be like 10 minutes. I'll see you at the beach.
Yeah. And my son lives in Asbury, so we should be all getting together for the Jersey thing. All right. Well, we've got you here, and we might as well talk about all these things that you've been tweeting out recently. But let's focus on New York City FC and Portland. That's the game coming up, and that's part of this preview. So let's go to New York City first. What are some of the things as far as your reaction to transfers that are in and what may happen in the near future?
Yeah, I'll start with the second part because that's more straightforward. The deal for Mijatovic, the Serbian youth international, super highly rated from Red Star Belgrade, a deal around $8.5 million. I'm told that that's all done. It hit a snag at like the 11th hour, but they kind of resolved through it after a couple of days. They were a little bit worried, but again, it's all done now. Everything's good. No more worrying. He's a super talented kid. What I really love about NYCFC's offseason so far is they did their work so much earlier than last year, which is going to be so key. Like, again, Ojeda and Mijatovic, like, I don't know when Ojeda's joining train. You'd know better than me. But, like, these players are all already in. They have, when Mijatovic is officially done, I think that's it for them as far as I know. Like, so it is so important that last year it was, even when it was James Sand and Santi Rodriguez, two guys who you don't really have to reintegrate too much because they were new players, but like Santi didn't technically leave at all. And James was only gone for a year, right? Like, so that's easy to reintegrate. But these new players, you need to give them preseason. They need to be able to get some time to get into the team. And that's contributed to like that'll make the team start so much faster this year. And again, MLS, like there's always time to make it up in the back end, but last year they didn't, right? Like, so it's never ideal. So this year it's much better that all these signings are kind of ready to go now.
Yeah, Ojeda, it's still a paperwork issue, so he has not arrived yet. And he's being counted on certainly. And Mihalovic, we haven't really heard too much about yet from the club. They don't really comment on the rumors, and so that's 18 years old. So when you think about that, I think we've all gone online and Googled and went on YouTube to see him. He kind of a bulldog forward. Scores a lot, close to goal, which is where most of the goals are scored anyway. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is an incredible signing. Like, look, like it's, City Football Group helps power this, right? Like that's part of the project. Say, hey, like you're going to NYCFC, and then hopefully in a few years you can be at Verona or Manchester City or all that. But this is a signing that straight up was not possible to an MLS club 3 years ago, even, right? Like when was the most highly rated Serbian forward for Red Star Belgrade coming to MLS, any MLS team, regardless of whether they have a connection to Manchester City or Red Bull Leipzig or anybody, right? Like, so I think that's incredible because the player, like the money is important, obviously, to bid to Red Star. You still have to convince the player. The player could have still said no. So the fact that they put together a project, a plan, and everything else to sell it to the player and why he wants to come here and choose this stage for his career is phenomenal. And like, again, you look throughout the offseason, again, NYCFC have been at the forefront of this for years of identifying young talent and being very successful when they do. You just go on down the line with Tati and Gabi Pereira and so on and so forth. These are the most important signings for me for the continued growth of MLS. And it's just a nice little kind of lamppost of like, oh yeah, like a mile marker of, yeah, you got to remember this wasn't possible a couple years ago. Like this is where the league is trending, and it's very exciting.
Well, Tom, as we move on to the Portland Timbers, we've got a request here. Ben Angelo said, will you please announce Timbers DP news? Do they have two? Is it one or two?
They have 2 DP spots open. They're going to sign a DP forward at some point this month. The player Arezzo that NYCFC almost signed. Portland really liked him. I don't know if they're back in for him or not, but I know that that was a player that they liked quite a lot, and they were working like NYCFC had the discovery claim, so NYCFC had the first chance. That deal never happened. But I know Arezzo was on their list. There's some really exciting strikers in Mexico, in South America, and in Europe that the club have on their short list. It's just about getting a deal done right now. They have plenty of money to make this happen. I've been told, depending on what target it is and depending on what happens, it could be a club record signing if that's what the money's there for a club record signing if that's what the deal requires, if that's what their top target requires. So again, I understand the impatience from fans. I would be getting more and more frustrated the closer we get to the season without it happening. But most important is getting the right player, not the first player. Again, it's one of those tired aphorisms around world sports and around soccer. But again, if the player can't be here for opening day, that's less important than signing the wrong player and having to, do this all over again in a year.
All right. I'm Glenn Crooks. We're with the great Tom Bogert from The Athletic in Wall, New Jersey. That's wonderful. We do have, as far as the Jersey Shore goes, we got Picnic Brenda said, Jersey Shore, baby. Yeah, there you go. And and we're at Coachella, and this is a couple of Jersey boys here, and this is my first time. It's your first time, and it is really remarkable, the setting, the mountains that we're surrounded by, and today's a particularly clear, a little windy, but fine, and my breath has been taken away a couple of times.
The word I was going to start with here was breathtaking. Like you're just even driving around, looking around the mountains, and like maybe it's just me being ignorant. I had no idea how beautiful this area was. Maybe they've kept it a good secret in Southern California. The drive from LAX was tough, but that's on me for being dumb and driving during traffic hours.
Well, you should have flown to Palm Springs.
I'm not going to JFK for that. I'm flying out of Newark. So
well, I did out of Newark. One stop though at Denver. So yeah, you had to make a stop. And I know that's always risky stuff. Back to New York City for a second. I'm when he gets here, I want to make sure that I have the pronunciation correct. But Tanas Janovic, who is the Serbian center back, so he's not here yet either. But New York City was fairly desperate for depth at center back, were they not?
Yeah, and again, like the Serbian market that they've been exploring again with, and I guess that brought in it to that area with Ilinic and now this player and Mijatovic, and like it just shows that they find talent in Uruguay and Argentina and Brazil. They find talent in England if they need to. They find talent in Central Europe, Eastern Europe, like whatever. Like Alexandru Mitrita didn't quite work out, but like that, it just goes to show the power of this club's scouting department and the network. So that's kind of a league that I think MLS club in general can start to find more talent because he's going to get a pay raise at New York City FC, and that helps a lot when you're negotiating for these kind of talents. And I think that these kind of players, the profiles fit into MLS well. So that's a lot of words to not say too much other than the fact that I highly give benefit of the doubt to this signing, to this player, to to NYCFC, David Lee, and the front office when making this. They're solid at center back, I think, and this helps that James Sands hopefully won't really ever have to play at center back, unless that if they move to a back three for some games. I think that would be
well, that's one of the things with the newcomer, that you can now play a back three without having to drop Sands in. I think that's pretty important, especially since that's where Sands prefers to play. That's where, and he has always said, if I need to go in a back, put me in a back, but his preference is to stay in the midfield.
And that was the whole not selling, when his loan was coming up at Rangers. Rather, like, there was options in Europe. He could have went to Standard Liège with Ronnie Deila, who obviously loves him and he has a great relationship with and great success with playing under him. NYCFC were like, we only want you to be a leader, and 2, we're playing you at 6. We know that's where you want to be long term. We know that's what you think for your development. We agree with you, and this is what you're going to do. So again, he's a wonderful team player. He's got a phenomenal mentality. I can't say enough things about James Sands. If Nick Cushing asked him to play center back 25 games this year, he would. And you wouldn't hear much about it, right? Yeah. But the point is for him to play defensive midfield. And so, again, with the more robust core of center backs, with another one in and another senior player in, like James Sands really shouldn't have to play in the back unless there's an injury crisis.
Did you notice when he was called into U.S. national team camp for that January window, he was listed as a back, and I never got a chance to ask Greg Berhalter or B.J. Callahan about that. You have any insight?
Yeah, I mean, like that's – I don't have anything much deeper than that. Like, they see him as a center back. Like, it was the same thing with Sean Zawadzki.
But BJ had said less than a year earlier to me that they really saw him, and he was in that interim phase.
Yeah.
He said they saw him more as a midfielder. But
I think he should be, right. Like, I don't love him at the national team level as a center back in a back four, right? Like, right. I think you can play him in a back three if you need to. It's great to have that versatility. But if I was part of the coaching staff, I would be looking at him as a 6 for that team, particularly with. I mean, Johnny Cardoso is really coming on now at Real Betis, but like that's a pretty wide open spot where they need as much coverage as they get. I've always been surprised that James Sands didn't get more minutes there. In particular, like I was straight up shocked that he didn't start the January camp game. Like, again, I don't want this to sound disrespectful at all to Sean Zawadzki, because well done for him to earning that opportunity.
No,
I'm shocked that James Sands didn't start in that spot.
Yeah. So. Agreed here too. Tom Bogert with us here from The Athletic, and let's take. What MLS team do you think is the most intriguing going into 2024 based on return players, new players, and perhaps a new head coach or a new coaching team? What do you think?
Oh, that's a great question. There's so many good storylines this offseason, I think, and the kind of like confluence of, again, a lot of teams, like Colorado's the team that did a lot of work. I'm very interested to see them play, but I don't think that they're like one of the true contenders. Like, I think that'd be really unfair expectations and way too much reading into the offseason stuff. I think they're going to be very good. So the other side of this question is I want to pick a team that's definitely going to be in the conversation and competing. So I think for me, LAFC, like they're returning, obviously Buganga and some other guys, but like Edward West is coming back. He's one of my favorite players to watch in this league. Tomas Angel is coming in as a center forward. I really hope they re-sign Carlos Vela, because I'm a romantic and I'm a loyalist. So I don't want to see him play for another team ever, right? Like at this point, like I hope he retires at LAFC. I still think that he's good, but like all of the maneuvering they had to do, they brought in an Italian youth international center back who started played every single minute as they won the U19 Euros. Like they have so much young talent, in prime talent. And then again, a big superstar like Buganga and the super name Carlos Vela. So I'm really interested to see how it goes. Like before that they started announcing new signings, I think they were down to 15 or 16 first-team players. Like it's had the way that they've been able to overturn their roster with the cap monster has been very impressive. And I can't wait to see what this group looks like again.
Which new coach do you think will be most successful? New York City, they're going to be playing Portland in a moment. Nick Cushing, very good friend with Phil Neville, coached his son in England. And that's coming up, that live stream, by the way, 4 p.m. Eastern on nycfc.com/live. Go on YouTube and just Google it or whatever you do to find things at the Coachella Invitational. I'll be on the commentary along with Jake Levy. So that's Phil Neville, for instance. Then later today, I'm going to go talk to Dean Smith, go to his hotel. He's got an interesting background, Aston Villa promotion, and everything I'm hearing about him is that everyone likes him in the organization, from the cook to the players, But those are just two examples. What do you think?
So those were the two that come to mind for me. I'll start with Dean Smith. I think that he was a fantastic hire by Charlotte. Like you said, when I talk to people around the club, they're like, yeah, these are all the reasons we wanted to hire him for, like, we needed to build stability, all this stuff in addition to what he can do tactically, what he can do with the team on the field. But the culture stuff, I every other day I feel like I'm getting a text or a call from somebody talking about some new sort of buy-in that Dean Smith is getting from the team, and that's desperately what they needed. They still need to bring in probably 2 really high-level signings to make them super interesting.
He's pretty open about the fact that it's going to happen, right?
It definitely will. They've got money to spend, and It was really important to get rid of Camille Uziak and move Karol Swiderski on, so both of those spots are open. But Phil Neville, I know that it's probably a bit of an unpopular take. I'd like to hire him, man. I'd like maybe that'll prove to be wrong, but I was really hopeful that Phil's going to get another chance in MLS. Like, I don't think you can really judge him based off what happened in Miami. And furthermore, 2022 season, I thought he did a phenomenal job. That team shouldn't have been anywhere near the playoffs. He rejuvenated Gonzalo Higuain, who literally came here and said, I thought I could just smoke a cigarette and play, right? Like, and he was really bad in the locker room. Rodolfo Pizarro was really bad in the locker room. He said, all right, screw you guys. Like, you're out. Like, sit on the bench, Gonzalo Higuain. I don't care. Like, and he got buy-in from all the players. And look, it wasn't pretty soccer, but he was hamstrung by several different things. He got fired in 23. The first half of the season, Gregory was out almost the entire time. And they were holding 2 DP spots open for Messi and Busquets. Like, look around the league. Sporting Kansas City finished, bottom of the West when their two of their DPs got injured? Like, again, he didn't do well in 2023, but, like, I see a lot of context to be like, he deserves another chance. If he fails with Portland, that'll be it. Like, I don't think they get another chance after that, but I think that it's going to be a good hire. And again, as long as they bring in the right DP forward, like, they're going to be good.
Prize Gio Savarese, who was sacked by Portland, did not acquire one of these. Well, at the time when he was fired, there were 8 openings.
Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked because I know that he's motivated to want to coach. He was making the best of his time off, from what I know of. Okay, I'll get more time with my family. He's like, I got to drop my daughter off at college. I haven't been able to do that yet because I've been coaching the entire time when she's in school. He's like, he's super happy with that. He's a really great family man. All this, he's like, we're gonna go to Europe and I'm gonna, continue learning. Like, he's been making the most of his time and he's doing very well. And now he's gonna be doing some commentating for Apple. But I know that he's an insanely competitive dude. He wants to be in a locker room again, right? Like, so I was shocked that not only did he not get a job, I thought that he was going to have 3 offers. Yeah, pick your favorite one. I thought New England, for sure, that would have been great. Like, you just kind of go down the list. Like, there's so many teams that make sense. Like, I don't know why DC really weren't, like, pushing on him. Like, maybe too expensive. Maybe it wasn't the right kind of project. But I think particularly New England is the one that I thought for sure that he would have the right to be able to turn it down if he didn't want it. But we'll see. Any
insight as to why Bruce Arena specifically was sacked and had to be reinstated?
No, nothing new. This is legal territory. You got to be careful. It's not quite transfers where I can be a little bit looser. I do know that what I didn't know when he stepped away, when he resigned, it's like, he's 72 years old, 73, whatever he is. I was like, is that it? Is he done? Because I heard rumors in New England that maybe he was going to looking at transitioning to just a front office role at some point in the near, not like interim future, but at some point on the horizon, right? So I was like, is he going to be done? I know for a fact this offseason he doesn't want to be done yet. So he was there's some informal talks with DC, but I think we'll see what happens with the next round of coaching hires. But I well truly do wonder if he's going to get that opportunity or not.
Yeah. All I know is he's living in Charlottesville, where he coached the University of Virginia for years, and really where he made his mark. All right, before we wrap up, we got Tom Bogert here for The Athletic, and referees. So there was this threat of a strike. You co-authored an article a while back saying that someone told you guys that it was like 99% certain there was going to be a strike. But your most recent tweet, or I don't think I read the story, is that it's just the vote is in and we'll see how they vote.
So the leadership has agreed to the basic framework of a deal. There's going to be a 48-hour period for the members of the union to look it over and then have an official vote to see if it's like it seems like it's going to pass, right? But I was under the impression that they were still on strike, and then I was doing interviews yesterday here in Coachella, and I was walking in a hotel after I did an interview with the club, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a pro referee, that's an MLS pro referee. Look, I was like, I thought they were on strike. Like, I walked away and like I called Pablo, the caller for that story. I was like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, what? I don't know. And so me and him made a couple calls, and I was like, oh, you guys have a deal. So again, this is why you have to. any organization that you have to pay for your writers to go places, because we wouldn't have known that if I didn't stumble into a referee.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've got a connection, and the latest was it's to a vote.
Yep.
That was after I saw what you had put out. You got to follow Tom on Twitter, and what you, at Tom Bogert.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Yeah, nice
man.
and easy.
Yeah, nice and easy. And you're before we get to the final two topics here, your life, what a life-changing experience this must have been for you. I mean, because I mentioned Fabrizio Romano at first, and you went on there. He's got 1 million followers, and the guy, you just get a sense that the guy never sleeps.
Oh my
and
God.
now we get that sense from you. You're always tweeting out pictures. Well, I'm out with my friends, but of course I'm getting the latest scoop. So it must be pretty wild for you.
Yeah, it's you gotta love it. You gotta have that. Again, I don't love the idea of being on my phone as much as I am, and feeling like I need to. Oh my God, did I miss a text? I missed a call.
Yeah.
Look, man, this is the life I chose, and I'm happy with it. I'm no good at a lot of other things, a lot of other life skills, but I'm pretty good at this, so I'm gonna keep on leaning into it.
Were you a good soccer player?
I was decent. I thankfully not
Did you play at Wall High School?
Oh yeah, and then played in college. So
Yeah.
it was good that I realized. I think when I was 15, you might not make it pro. Like I played for Team New Jersey for ODP.
Yeah, for sure.
Phenomenal.
Who was your coach?
Yes, Pat. Why am I struggling on his last
Pat
name?
Murphy. No.
No, and then he went to coach NJCU.
I'm not going to come up with it.
Okay.
How about
I feel bad now.
How about a Kane? Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, Tony Okermenko.
You were coached by Tony.
I had his last year, and then Rob Irvine, who was phenomenal. Rob Irvine's a phenomenal coach.
Tony O's a legend.
Yes, he is.
Ukrainian legend at that.
He was at the stage of his career where he was just on a golf cart at the training set, and the assistant coaches were doing a lot, but Tony O's an absolute legend.
No, he is an absolute legend. All right, couple more things here. I've got blue card. But hold on
I'm trying hard not to curse.
Huh?
I'm trying hard not to curse because that's my initial reaction to all this.
Okay. Well, we saw what Jurgen Klopp said about it. He said IFAB has never come up with a good idea in his lifetime. And then let's listen to what Ange Postecoglou said for Tom. Here he is.
One team being down to 10 men for 10 minutes, you know what it's going to do to our game? It's going to destroy it, mate. You're going to have one team just sitting there trying to waste time for 10 minutes. Wait.
On a hot spot. I hope this has been transmitting, but somebody would have said something if it didn't.
Yeah.
But his point was, and Klopp's point was, for 10 minutes, what you're going to do is just try to kill off that time, slow the game down. Right, you're slowing the game down, and instead of Christina Unkel, who I'm very fond of, I think she does a great job on TV as a descriptive former referee, explaining things to us, and just spoke with her at the convention about a number of things. But she came out in support of it because she thought more goals would be scored. But the fact is teams are going to they'll go into a low block. Yeah. Isn't that what you would do?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to be pragmatic. Dude, what's the point of yellow and red cards? I don't understand. Why do we need to do this? This is just, again, man, like for me, it comes down to like people in these positions. You don't get a promotion for saying everything's great, no new ideas. So you have to come up with an idea. And you come up with this idiotic, moronic thought. And it's just, I don't understand.
In this, I don't know if this is going to play. I'm going to try though. New York City, when they played San Jose in the first preseason game here at Coachella for New York City, there was a blue card violation. Let's see if it comes up.
Jones. Try back the other.
It's stuck again.
Now here's Jones. Try back the other way. Emo. Now here's Jones. Try back the other way. Jones, a little stutter step, is yanked down from behind by Morales. And we'll see what comes of this. Probably a booking.
All right, well, that's Alfredo Morales, the former New York City midfielder, who's about to take down Malachi Jones by grabbing him really from behind and he just dragged him down. But it would have been a blue card. He'd be out for 10 minutes under the blue card violation. All right. Finally, Mr. Jersey Boy, World Cup final at MetLife. How cool is that?
That's very cool. I cannot wait to hear the complaints from people who obviously have no idea and come to New York City and it's like, well, how the hell do I get to MetLife Stadium? What is this? This is a big air conditioner with a big parking lot around it. What's going on? I can't wait.
I get a little crazy about the and I'm afraid I have this fear that the Greg Berhalter cut's not going to but the national team coach address the fact that it is being played at MetLife.
To have the final in New York, New Jersey, is a dream come true for me, being from that area, and I'm sure from most people from that area. Another area with a rich tradition in soccer and producing players. To think about, when I was little, going to watch the Cosmos and them selling out Giant Stadium, and now this stadium's going to host a World Cup final. So it's really special. They announced it officially as New York, New Jersey, I think, or New Jersey, New York. So I'm going to go with FIFA. If it was up to me, it would just be New Jersey, but that's just me, right? Officially, it's New York and New Jersey.
Love to hear
that. It was good to hear. He didn't fully commit. He could just go Jersey all the way.
Gotta be diplomatic.
Berhalter, of course, from TNAC, went to St. Benedict's Prep, and is now our national team coach. Well, Tom, it was wonderful to chat with you. Good to reconnect.
Yes, sir.
And what can we expect next from you in the Athletic? What's happening?
Nonstop Duncan McGuire updates apparently.
That's another story.
Yeah, I'll have something after the weekend here of just insights and news and whatever else comes. We'll see what the next 2 days bring.
But he'll be with Orlando City at least through the first stage of the season,
or somebody's going to teams are trying to trade for him. Orlando don't have any interest in it. We'll see how this one. Wow. We'll see if it gets ugly or not.
All right. Well, for Tom Bogert of The Athletic, thanks so much. I'm Glenn Crooks. Remember, live stream of the New York City FC game against the Portland Timbers coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern. Go to nycfc.com/live. And also on YouTube, just you can find the Coachella Invitational games there. So hopefully you tune in. If not, we'll talk to you next week anyway. See you, everybody.